Sup Shredders, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands and welcome to an SP Patrons video today that I make for Paul7931 as part of their custom monthly music review. And if we switch over to here, we have ourselves a track on the screen. Translated, apparently this is from an act if I'm not mistaken. This is titled, the band's titled Frosty Eve if I'm not mistaken. The song is titled Dying Dreams. So we're going to listen through it from start to finish and we're going to hear what we think. Let's go, let's do it. What we got? We got lyrics as well at the end. Thanks to Paul for those. Great foley of the door opening. This could be fun. I mean, this is amazing. I love it to pieces. And the symphonic elements with kind of black metalish vocals are just the icing on the cake. That double kick's phenomenal, man. I mean, it's just such a fantastic blend of the heavier and more melodic elements. I mean, there's a sequence you can follow along to it structurally. Great trade-off to a guitar solo here from the keys. It's just a brutally heavy guitar tone as well, man. Yep, thank you, Paul. I had a genuinely fun time with that. Great track. We're going to have a look at the lyrics and then talk about the song more in the conclusion. So what have we got in terms of lyrics? For whom does the death knell ring? Because you had the door opening and then the person getting shot. It was a hell of an intro to the song. Dying Dreams from Frosty Eve. Sacrificing humanity in exchange for the charity of technology. Self-destruction to fight for the source of evil. The wordplay, like the way the poetry is written, is stunning. It's horrific stuff, but it's written so eloquently. Rotting hands excitedly dig their own graveyard. The sound of the funeral bell echoed through the night sky. Damn, man. Okay, I think we've got it, and we're going to talk about it more in the conclusion. Because welcome to the conclusion of my review of this track from an ex named Frosty Eve, the song titled Dying Dreams. Now, this song, I think it's about people who initially had hopes for the future and they thought that what they were doing was going to get them to a better place. But inadvertently, the pressure to grow fast or go home has led to a lot of people losing their lives. The technology, sacrificing ourselves, everything, rotting hands, digging their own graves, etc. It's basically suggesting to the listener that all these people trying to make the world a better place are in fact destroying themselves and destroying the world alongside with it. And it's basically our death knell, is that lust for innovation and everything like that. That the changes that we require are ones that are not without sacrifice, and often it's those around us that, without our own awareness of it. I think that is brutal, and it's awesome. It's such an interesting story to tell. And part of what sold it so fantastically was the way that it was screamed and growled. This was not a pretty sounding vocal performance, but I don't think it needed to be. The singer clearly knew what they were doing on the mic. Very easy to listen to if you're familiar with the genre. If you're not, this is going to be quite confrontational. I wouldn't be surprised if the type of, the vocal fry, if the style isn't for everyone. But for me personally, I think it's just so metal, it's so brutal, it's so intense that, that expression from the singer makes a lot of sense, almost to the point that we're so furious with the festering decay of everything that we're struggling to get the words out. Although the words aren't coming to, clearly because of the fury that we feel. I think that's awesome, and I'm blown away by the technique as well. I thought it was tremendous. And I think as well, with such a colorful track with all these different sort of synth key, guitar, bass, and the bass layers, all these melodic elements, if you had cut vocals that were too colorful, it would have potentially overcomplicated the entire thing. But because we didn't have like a set melody to it, it was more like a texture, a timbre with the screams and shrieks and stuff like that. It was kind of more easy to sort of niche that in, and that is the advantage of having a style like that, is that you don't have to compete for attention with other lead elements. This track had so many different guitar, bass, and drum grooves, and the keys fed off of it, and it was just stunning. Just the intensity of the opening foley to this track, the door opening, the person getting shot, with the guitar, bass, and drums coming in immediately, the keys coming a little bit after, if I'm not mistaken. And you just have this, you do have a structure that you can follow along with. Like, there are verses and choruses and stuff like that, and there are different interlude sections, and there's a couple of solos near the end, one from the keys, one trading off to the guitar and everything like that. But there's also lots of little sub-harmonized lead solos there, lots of finicky, lots of variation with the different, drum. Like the drummer was not pocketing here. They had, when they went between half times, 16ths on the rides and stuff like that, to double kicks that were just full bore, some sort of string skip stuff where they're going kind of galloping. There was this thrashy stuff going on where they worked their double kicks and also tried to accommodate that kind of the alternate palm muting. I mean, the guitar playing was ferocious there. The rhythm riffs, the palm muting, the structures, the going between the bottom two strings, those pedal notes there, which were wonderful. But it was also the work going up a bit higher in the fretboard and doing those harmonized lead solos there, and kind of working in unison with the keys when they went up in that similar register and fed off each other. The harmonies were absolutely gorgeous. And we spent a lot of the time with this track going between those guitar layers and those key layers, and kind of either amalgamating them into a wider concept there, for better or worse. There was some twisted stuff going on near the end in that solo with the keys, with the chromaticisms and stuff like that, feeding off of the Phrygian modes and other elements within the rhythm riffs and the harmonies there. But also, it had a sense of, had an interesting glow. It sounded quirky and cool and sort of progressive a little bit. Kind of reminded me a little bit of sort of Dream Theater-ish kind of stuff there, and amongst the black metal elements of the vocals. A lot of the guitar, bass, and drum parts honestly being reminiscent of a lot of the mid-2000s metal, given that this album was released in 2009. It does not surprise me that it sounds like this. There was a lot of music from this time that sounded like that. It was very fashionable, and this was tremendously well played. The bassist, from what I can tell, was pocketing, although they were playing very quickly, and they had a great sense of rhythmic cohesion with what was going on with both the guitar and the drum parts. And I just think when you combine all the different drum chops in here, all the different sort of chordal concepts here, the different styles of metal they incorporated, from the progressive stuff to those sort of like metalcore-ish elements there, to the black metalish kind of parts there. We had a vivacious display of their proficiency across those styles. as well as their ability to interweave these and get them sort of like with such clean transfers. And we had like different elements and different sort of attitudes to different parts. We came down to halftime, things were maybe a little more reserved and there was a bit more space. Then other times with the double kicks, it was just full bore with everything rolling against it. You didn't have a whole lot of contrasts because I think all the musicians wanted to share that chemistry and just kind of commit to the bit, if that makes sense. And so in terms of like an overall theme, I can't necessarily say that there was a specific idea that we were going for there. I just think we're, if anything, trying to represent the chaos that is potentially going on within this story, like with the lucidity of the understanding of the truth of the situation, parallel sort of contrasted against just the complete chaos again of people falling apart and destroying themselves for this false ideal. It's just really fascinating stuff, and it's not pretty music to listen to. You know, there are some tritones and sort of like, especially minor stuff, maybe some diminished, etc. But I don't think the song, it's not meant to be a pretty sounding song. It's meant to represent the sort of the evil that's going on there, and all this interesting stuff described in the lyrics is just, it's represented in the track and it's very authentic. And you know, you combine that with the studio production, the recording, mixing and mastering, and it's just the vocals are clear, the guitars on the sides are clear, double tracks are nice and thick and full, the leads they're feeding off each other in that sort of 50% range, the keys passing off to the guitar solo and the solo bit panning on a stereo field, the bass and drums filling in everything else. It was a wonderfully handled production process there, with no weird resonant frequencies. Again, the music surrounding you in the stereo field. There was dynamic range to this, and again, the Foley at the start was an interesting choice there to set the scene, especially for someone who might not understand the language. Kind of gives a bit more context. And then you've just got, it's just nice, it's loud without pumping though. Bus compression limiting is handled. I mean, effectively, this is just my review of this track from an act named Frosty Eve, titled Dying Dreams, and hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please do go show them some love via their various social medias and Spotify page, and stay cool and stay safe. Please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as need the help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. And I'll catch you in the next SP Patrons video. Spiderhands out.